Some days you're fortunate enough to be in absolute stunning beauty in this world. And some days you're fortunate enough to have something fun to get out to that beauty. Today is the Triumph GT6. This is a 1973 Mark III. Has a 2-liter inline-6 engine, all independent suspension, 2 seats, 4 speeds, 4 on the floor as the old saying goes. And you can see from the profile how sometimes it was considered the poor man's Jaguar E-Type. Those wheels are TR8 alloys with Range Rover Freelander studs, so it's been modified a little bit to have better wheels. They look a little better, but we'll take a look around. Designed by Giovanni Michelotti, so it's just a modernization. There's the semi-camtail that the Spitfire 1500s had, the Triumph Stag had, very much family resemblance. I have my hood latch on this side already open for the video so we can take a look at the engine as I do a quick walk around. It's not that big. As you can see, it's taken me, 10 seconds at a very slow pedestrian pace. Those are hella driving lights that I got from a company called Quadratech. So if you need something of that nature, then you definitely should look them up. This is the engine. It's a little dusty. Pay no mind to the rebuilt harness from the resistor wire going crazy. But that is the 2-liter inline-6, also in the Triumph Vitesse, and twin carburetors. I'll go to the other side in a moment. I have modified it with an aluminum radiator. That's a newer alternator. And I have an electronic ignition, if you can see it through the sun. Still the mechanical fuel pump, which I prefer. basic ignition coil and heater valve right up there. Now this is a Mark I engine in this Mark III, which means it had to be adapted to cable linkage. And there's my return springs. Notice there are quite a few of them, actually. That helps with the throttle coming back. Heater valve up there, battery, which I need to put the battery tie down on. And also, I have aftermarket air cleaners from Long Flow here on the GT6. Double wishbone front suspension, rack and pinion steering, front disc brakes, which are hiding back there. Also rear drum brakes. So with that being said, let's work our way around to the back. Yes, that's a nice little ding from a shopping cart. It happens when you drive these cars on a regular basis. I will reseal the windshield glass. This is the cargo area. Relatively spacious. You can get a couple of duffel bags or a small suitcase in here. Underneath this floor is the spare tire compartment where your jack and spare tire would be. Also have a nice little package shelf. I brought along some extra plug wires. And there's the interior. We even have a dome light, which you can kind of see. There it is. Ergonomics are a strong and weak point at the same time, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment. And yes, that is a third brake light for safety. Let's open this up. These quarter light windows open, as do these. So you get quite a bit of flow-through ventilation, which is sometimes desperately needed. Ergonomics. This is what I like to call kind of a relatively decently laid out car. High beam, low beam, flash feature, directional. So that's all pretty straightforward. Ignition right here. Choke is right there. Tachometer, speedometer with trip meter and regulator. These are non-standard switches. My original windshield wiper switch slash mechanical pump blew, and I said to heck with it, so I just put a rocker switch. So I have 2-speed wipers. They're on or they're off right now. These are my hella driving light switches. They both have an LED, as you can see. Well, engine not on. This one lights up red, that one lights up green when they're on. They don't quite fit the decor, but they fit the holes that were in the dashboard, and they were pretty reliably built, and they're cheap. Here's your heater control. Air distribution is left to right. If I can get it back. There we go. This is your fan. You actually pull it out, so that's high. Push it in once, that's low, and that's off. Temperature control. Dome light switch. Oops, rear defogger. I can't even see what I'm doing. Dome light switch. Parking lights, headlights. Fuel gauge, temperature gauge. Low pressure brake warning, and when you start up, it also tells you if your oil pressure is low. Hazard switch. And in there is your rear defogger, your directional, left or right, your ignition switch, high beam, and your low oil pressure warning. If that light comes on while you're driving, you're pretty much done for, because it's got a very low threshold, like single digits PSI. One other big thing is, as I said, ergonomics. Notice the pedal box. Notice where the steering wheel is. That's the clutch, that's the brakes. Notice how my knee is for the brakes, if I do it straight, is to the left of the steering column. There's not a lot of space. If you've driven a Shelby Cobra, let me get that so it can focus a little bit. If you've driven a Shelby Cobra, you know what I'm talking about, where things are offset. In this car, they're very offset. Surprising amount of legroom though. When you're driving, however, this is my eye level, and the steering wheel is kind of going straight ahead. Your temperature gauge is mostly blocked by like your hand on the steering wheel or this spoke. It's what I call elegantly semi well-designed ergonomics. Looks good. You have to move your head around to see everything and your arms to reach everything. But there you go. Seats recline, and you have 3-point seat belts, and then you have a nice little headliner. So that is the exciting mechanical specs of the GT6. So this is the base of Guanella Pass, one of Colorado's scenic byways. It's paved. It goes up to about 11,600 feet. Hopefully the camera stays in position. I do not know. So I figured you guys were probably sick and tired of seeing me from being mounted on the windshield. So let's try this out, and hopefully this works. Now, speed limit on the pass is 25. I'm gonna go a little bit more than that because I want to get some airflow. While I was idling, setting up the camera, temperature climbed up to over a half. But we'll see how this all pans out. The road's quite smooth, so between that, the stabilization, and the camera, hopefully it works. Anyway, this is one of my favorite passes to drive. It doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, it goes from Georgetown to, we were just in Grant, which is pretty much a wide spot on the road. There are some people that have some properties along this road in certain areas, but it's just a relaxing drive for various reasons. And it doesn't matter what vehicle you're in, it's just really, really pretty. And this area here in the fall, when these aspens have fully turned, it's you know, you've got the gold shimmery stuff going on, like the leaves look like they're shimmering. So that's about it. Let's enjoy this ride. I know the road only opened, it is Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, and it only opened this past Thursday, so there might be some snow at the above the tree line, which would be kind of cool. As you can see, the GT6 is a very
easy car to drive. I should say it's easy car to drive when you're relaxed and just kind of cruising along. If you're autocrossing or tracking it, it's a little bit of work. But, you know, that's just like anything. Miata is work when you're doing that as well. So, you can't really hold that against it. There are a number of parking areas along Guanella Pass, and you can hike across some little bridges and stuff, little trails. When we were in the Pike National Forest, it's a pretty stunning day. Well, we changed the camera because I just didn't want to stick in the back, and that's okay. Circulate cool a little quicker. It seems counterintuitive. You're like, I want to cool the engine down. Shouldn't I have lower RPM? And I thought that for a long time. But it turns out that fourth gear at 40 miles an hour is 2,000 RPM. Second gear at 40 miles an hour is going to be, 4,000 RPM. I'm doing right about 2,700 RPM. The temperature gauge is coming down slightly. You can still hear a little bit of poof poof type of missing. That's a gremlin I have been fighting for a while on this car. I think I need to kind of get into the carburetors as well. I suspect they might be gunked up and I haven't really cleaned them out. Woofies! Woofy woofs for walks. But I'll solve it. I always do. Sometimes it takes a lot longer. The solution isn't where I thought it was, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast. Since this is a Mark I engine, it's really not conducive to, well, you can. God, come on, wake up, buddy. it rise. Thump thump as we bounce over some bumps here. I'm going to stop right here because this is worthy of taking a picture with an actual camera while I'm not driving. We all know I'm talented with that. There are hikers. It's the beginning of the season. I don't want anything to happen to the car, to an animal, to a person, to an insurance premium. Cattle fences, or cattle guards, I should say. Oh, a lot of people camping over there. Wow. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous alpine meadow. But again, so now I'm in fourth gear at like 1700 RPM. So I'm doing a bit over 30. Still have that miss. It also is typically in medium load situations with mild RPM, lower RPM. I've done my valves. I've done, the usual suspects, changed out plug wires, etc. But it still persists somewhat. And I guess we can always say that's half of the fun of these cars is the journey. Sometimes I just want the journey to be point A to point B without having to diagnose anything. Another cattle guard. In my experience, my GT6s that I've had, and I've had a number of them, they are happiest usually between about 40 and 70. This one's happy at 80, 85, even 90 if I have to on I-25 when traffic's crazy, but it's more of a GT than an outright sports car. My Spitfire was happiest around 70 if you had to travel, a little over. Which was good. But when you're going 1,200 miles, you're just going over 70 and still somewhat vague. My Spitfire had a better feeling. My Spitfires all had better feeling gearboxes. I would say it's not as vague as the 76 Porsche 914 that was in my life several years ago. That thing, it was kind of a dark art, going from 5th to 3rd or 4th to 2nd, when you're really needing to downshift for some aggressive cornering. Someday I'll make a video of like a Triumph Club drive if I leave another one up and over Guanella, which I've done several times. Aspens are in full bloom and they're all gold. It's quite stunning, to be honest with you. feedback, criticism, constructive criticism, by all means, put them in the comments. I would love to see what people's ideas are. I want to make this a little bit more of a professional production. You know, I mean, I'm not looking to get any kind of awards. I just want it to be a little bit more polished. And this is all unscripted. Literally, I just hit the record button and go for it. I enjoy it. I find I really enjoy driving my Triumph. I enjoy driving almost any vehicle. When I raced a lot, I was always up for, hey, if you've got a seat, beautiful red-tailed hawk just hovering above us. But I was always like, if you've got a seat, I am all about filling it for you and racing that car. Across the valley, right at the base of the tree line there, you kind of see a horizontal line. That's actually the old railroad right over there. Maybe I'll do some episodes about tracking down, abandoned railroads or railroad history, because that's another passion of mine. But as I was saying, I just enjoy doing this. It's all off the cuff, ad hoc. I kind of think about what I want to do maybe the night before when I'm trying to go to sleep. And today's a very special day just because it's the Saturday Memorial Day weekend, and there's a, you can see right there on the right, that's the old right-of-way with some stone abutments for a trestle across the river or bridge. Anyway, why this is really important to me, it's a pretty solemn weekend, really. And we shouldn't forget everyone who unfortunately did not survive their deployments defending this country. Yeah, we get a 3-day weekend, and I'm a veteran myself, but I'm here to talk about it. And those folks aren't. So it seems like on the Saturday Memorial Day weekend, I really, really kind of just want to get a little bit of time to myself, just so I can reflect and think about those